Hello everyone, this is Aaron Fitch from ATFGaming and welcome to the NASCAR Homestead Championship predictions video for 2019. This is the third year in a row that I have done this video, and it's safe to say that my predictions are almost never right. So, if you're looking for the commentator's curse, people here, this is the video for you. This is the video for you. Because as we look at previous history, there has been 6 opportunities for me to predict the correct champion. And I have predicted the correct champion once. So, for those of you math people out there, for predicting the champion, I have a 16.6% success rate. Now, I mean, that's still a success rate. I predicted what? I predicted the 2017 Truck Series champion. Who won that? I don't even remember who won that. But, yeah, I predicted that correctly. It might have been Christopher Bell, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. It might have been. But, yeah, so as far as predicting all of these specific positions, because we go through and we order all the people 1 through 4, I have a slightly better success rate. I have a 25% success rate. So there is a chance. I'm not completely wrong, but it's safe to say that I wouldn't put your money on these predictions. If you're looking for somebody to apply, the commentator's curse to, this is probably the video to watch. But there's a chance that I could be right. And who knows, maybe I'll put some money on this video, on the results of this video. And, if things go well, maybe I'll be rich and I won't need to do anything else anymore. But yeah, so without further ado, we are going to move to the Truck Series first. So, we got the Truck Series and the 4 Truck Series contenders. We got Stuart Friesen, Ross Chastain, Brett Moffitt, and Matt Crafton. So, obviously, Brett Moffitt won the championship last year. Chastain had the great roller coaster of, declaring for Xfinity points and then deciding to switch to truck points, which I think was a great decision on his part. It's been great to root behind him. Stuart Friesen's been a favorite of mine. I'm really excited to see him finally getting some wins. And Matt Crafton is a staple in the series. So all 4 of these drivers, I would not personally mind winning the championship. But as far as, putting a number to each person, here we go. So the first person I selected to be in the number 4 position is Matt Crafton. Matt Crafton has had a consistent-ish season. I don't think he's won this year. He might have, actually. I'm not positive on that. But he's had a consistent-ish season. Enough to obviously get here, which good on him. But I just don't think it's enough to win the race at Homestead and win the championship. So I'm putting him 4th. 3rd, I have Stuart Friesen. Now, personally, out of these 4, Stuart Friesen would be who I would want to win. Because I think he deserves it. I think that team deserves it. But I just don't think he's been consistent enough on mile and a halves to do it. It's very possible. Very possible. Like I said, all 4 of these drivers could win it very easily. There's no outliers here. But I think Stuart Friesen has not been consistent enough on mile and a halves. So that leaves it down to Ross Chastain and Brett Moffitt. We have the reigning champion, who's with a new team this year after getting dropped by his previous team. And we got the Watermelon Man. So, without further ado, the person I have winning this championship is Brett Moffitt. I think Moffitt has been by far the most consistent person, the person who's been able to win mile and a half, especially the most. Chastain has also been very good on mile and a half, but he has been very inconsistent. Some races he's great, some races he's not as good, and there's not really a rhyme or reason to it. Again, I would love for Chastain to win. The left-hand side of the screen I would love to win. The right-hand side of the screen, maybe not as much personally. But I think Brett Moffitt's going to be a 2-time in a row Truck Series champion come this time next week. So, moving on to the Xfinity Series, we have pretty steady set of drivers. We got Justin Allgaier, who has finally come through and won his first race this weekend at Phoenix. Then we got Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, and Cole Custer, all of whom were in the Final 4 last year. So yeah, all these guys are great. Obviously, we know Bell and Reddick are moving up to the Cup Series next year. Personally, I think Cole Custer should be moving up as well. We'll see what happens with that. And Allgaier is an Xfinity Series regular. So all four of these guys are definitely able to win the championship. Really, all four of these series, there's no like Ryan Newman's outliers who probably shouldn't be in this position. Or like Austin Cindric's, I remember from a couple of years ago. There's none of these people are outliers as far as people who don't deserve to be here. So I'm perfectly happy with all these. But let's see who I put first for the fourth position. I put Tyler Reddick. Now, obviously, all four of these guys have been great. Bell, Reddick, and Custer have been nicknamed the Big Three, kind of like last year. Especially when it comes to mile and a half, Tyler Reddick has been very strong. But he has been very inconsistent, and he has also been very prone to mistakes, which is what I think is going to cost him the most. Now, last year he obviously did really well at Homestead, so I'm not putting that past him. But it's a new team, new car, and all that. Plus, he's got all the stuff looking forward to next year all sorted out. So I just don't know if it's going to be the same as last year. But you never know. You never know. But that's who I have in fourth place. In third place, I have Cole Custer. Kind of a similar story. Custer's been good, but also inconsistent at mile and a halves. It's hard to really predict this series, especially because especially Custer, Bell, and Reddick have been very consistently good at mile and a halves, and Allgaier more recently has been more consistent. But I just don't think Custer is going to have it this year. I would love for Custer to win it. That's who I had winning the Xfinity Series last year, I believe. But I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. So that leaves it between Justin Allgaier and Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell has obviously been the best driver in the Xfinity Series, no doubt about that the last 2 years. I personally think he deserved it last year, didn't get it done. And Allgaier has been a long-time competitor in the series, always been very consistent, and I'm sure he'll do great. And recently, since the chase has started especially, he's been really, really consistent. So the winner of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is Christopher Bell. I think it's time for Christopher Bell to win this championship, and that'll wrap up his Xfinity Series career full-time anyway. Do I think Allgaier could do it? Yes, I perfectly think he can do it. And personally, I know most people probably won't even put him in second, but I think he can get up to second. But I think Christopher Bell's got this one. But Homestead is a complete wild card, so you never know. But so far we got Brett Moffitt and Christopher Bell as our two champions. Let's move on to the Cup Series. So we've got Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, the four best drivers of the series so far. Hamlin has had another career year this year, and he finally made it to the Final Four, and I think he's going to do great. Harvick is just the model of consistency. Didn't really start off the year that great. Stewart-Haas Racing as a whole did not do that well at the start of the year, but they've been consistent, and Harvick has been getting some wins towards the end. Truex has been the best person in the chase so far. He's been very consistent, getting some wins, and he hasn't had to worry about what's going to happen in the chase this last round because he won the first race. So he's had 2 weeks to prepare his car. And Kyle Busch is Kyle Busch. This has been a very untypical Kyle Busch season. He's been very inconsistent. I blame most of that on the package. He doesn't like the package, and it shows. But I think Kyle Busch has just an equal chance as any of the other three to do it. So let's see who I have in fourth place here. And it's the man himself, Kyle Busch. I just don't think he's been consistent enough, and I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. Mile and a half especially have been kind of iffy for him recently. So I think Kyle Busch will be in fourth place. In third place, I got Martin Truex Jr. I would love for Truex to win it. Again, I really would. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't know. I was almost like picking straws at this point because all four of these guys have been really good, and I just I just don't know. I don't have much of an explanation for that one. So that leaves it between Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick, and I've already said what I need to say about them, so let's just go straight to it. I'm picking Denny Hamlin to win the championship. I think he's hungry. I think he's ready. I think it's finally time Denny Hamlin earns that championship. This is like the third or fourth try he's had. He's deserved it on numerous occasions, and this has been one of his best years to date. Maybe not as good as the first year, the year that he lost to Jimmy Johnson at Homestead. But Hamlin has had a great year. I was there when he won the Daytona 500, and everything on from that has been equally as great. So I think Denny Hamlin's going to be your Cup Series champion. Another first-time Cup Series champion, and I think well-deserving. So as a recap, these are our 3 champions that we have this year. Excuse me. Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, Brett Moffitt. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know how wrong you think I'm going to be. And just let me know what your predictions are for this weekend. I'm very excited for this weekend. It's always kind of a marathon, the NASCAR season, isn't it? It's hard to believe, because I went to Daytona. I can barely remember going to Daytona. It's been that long ago in February. So, yeah, it's a marathon season, and it's always a little bittersweet when it comes to an end, but also the shortest off season in all of sports, with like 3 months off. So we'll be right back at it in February again. But I think it's going to be a good weekend. Homestead, I really hate to see Homestead lose the championship race, especially after what we witnessed at Phoenix, with the Cup Series especially being a really boring race. Period. It was a very boring race. It's great for 1 lap after, maybe 2 laps after a restart, and then it's just really bad. Homestead, you have multiple grooves, you have multiple lines to work with. You can set up your car to run the high side, set up your car to run the low side. You have options. Phoenix, you don't have those options, so I just don't know. But we'll see what happens next year. Obviously, the adrenaline and the emotions of the championship race will inherently make it a little bit more exciting next year, but I just don't think it's the right track for it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in 2021. I know the new schedule will be coming out pretty early in the season next year, so we'll see. I'm all for, a rotating list of tracks for the championship race, but if they make Phoenix the new Homestead as far as permanent championship track, I just don't see the reasoning for that. But that's a story for another day. That's a topic for another day. So let me know in the comments what your predictions are and what do you think of my predictions. Hopefully we can improve on the 25% success rate and the 16.6% championship success rate. And maybe my predictions will be a little more valid come this time next year. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more content from ATF Gaming, be sure to hit that red subscribe button. It really means a lot to me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.